All right, we are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the boomrz show, candid conversation with us sexties. Tonight
Hi,
it's me and Diane.
everybody.
Hey, hey, hey. So Pam won't be joining us tonight. She already let us know she's got some stuff going on. And hopefully Mel and Renee may be able to join us. But if not, we persevere. So,
Yes, we do.
yes. So we were just talking about some exciting news for Miss Diane here. In case you didn't know, okay, I've known Diane for decades, pretty much my entire life almost. But this sister can throw down in the kitchen. Okay, always has been and still can and better. Well, she decided to start doing some cooking videos, and tonight she's going to premiere her second one. So we want to hear all about it. Tell us about it, Diane.
Well, here's the thing. I'm still kind of a little. I'm new to this, and I'm a little nervous about it because I don't have my. I'm working on the page. I don't have it created yet, but I'm gonna post this video on Facebook. And if you're out there watching, you got a minute, take a look at it because it's gonna be on my Facebook, Diane Applewhite, on Facebook. But I don't even want to tell you what it's about, but I guess what it is, what I'm baking, but I guess I will, ladies. I am baking a buttermilk pound. I'm making a buttermilk pound cake. And it's
Well, all right.
actually for, all right, it's a buttermilk pound cake. And I'm excited because I actually got this video down to a time that I like. It's just 15 minutes, and I'm excited about it being just 15 minutes because time is precious and of essence. And so I'm excited about it. So if you're watching, then look me up on Facebook, Diane Applewhite, and I'm telling you, it's more to come. More to come. It's a work in progress, but guess what? It will be completed.
All right. Wait, I got to post a little banner for that. Buttermilk pound cake coming out tonight.
And you
Yeah.
know what, Kathy? Since we're talking about the buttermilk pound cake, a couple of weeks on your broadcast, you talked about the our topic was creativity, and what that made me realize is that this is I'm starting to realize that this is a creative outlet for me because your wheels it gets to turning, and you start putting things together, you start doing research, you start just that creative energy, you're looking, and I tell you, that was a good topic because it made me realize that that was a, a creative outlet for me.
And I'm actually glad that you mentioned that too, the whole creativity part, because I do think that people need to try to maintain some kind of way, some level of creativity in their life, where they're
Mhm.
actually using their brain to either, think of an idea, a concept, do something, try something different, just some kind of way, but in a way that is interesting to you. So, like,
Yeah.
the whole cooking thing with you and how you realize that really is a creative outlet for you,
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
in a similar vein, I have been thinking because last week we talked about outdated life scripts.
Yes.
And one of the things that I had kind of always thought of myself, not as a writer or your level or Renee's, but always
Hmm.
being able to be a little clever with the pen and the pencil. And I think that having to write training documents for years and years kind of, I don't know, I think plug that or cut that writing creativity off for me. And I feel like finally now it's starting to, kind of open up, and I'm coming up with ideas of just little things that I can do. And I'll give you a for instance. I ran this by somebody the other day, but I was listening to DMX on "Blow the Whistle," and he does this little rap song, and then the chorus, the bridge is "Blow the Whistle." And it occurred to me that I want to write one stanza of that song where I'm talking about the stuff that's pissing me off right now today that's going on in the world. And then at the end of it, say, blow the whistle, as if I'm telling the coach, blow the whistle because they foul. This is foul. Basically, it's the thing. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to sit down and try to do that because I feel like I need to get my creativity back more than it is.
You know what? And talking about that, I'm gonna take us way back. Do you remember? I remember in your, I got laugh. I had in your Stephen Nicholas days. Remember, you had to write a manual. Remember, you were writing a manual. You were writing a manual then. You were some instructions on how to do something at
For the
Stephen Nicholas
brokers. Yep.
for the
Mm-hmm.
broker. And I remember you sitting there and you were writing it out, and it was pretty good, because we always shared that kind of thing, and it was pretty good. And then another thing in terms of your creativity, I've been thinking about this, is that I would love to, uh, when I was on your motivational page, I was kind of wishing I could hear more or see more of that demo, because I felt like I was missing something, because I know it was good. So I think it would be great if on one of your great broadcasts is that you would just stand up and offer and give us your display of your talent in that area. And I think it'd be wonderful. I know you can do it. I saw it on that little broadcast. I was just like, man, I was wish I was there in that audience, because I know I was missing something. You know, I think it
Wow.
would be so great for you to just stand and just give us, and then boom, we can load down that, because we don't have, here's the thing about it. I already know this about you. I already see this in you. The talent, the gift, the motivation, the confidence, all those qualities that come with being a motivational speaker. So I don't have to make anything up, but I would sure love for you to offer that to us.
And you know what? I'm glad you said that because I will do that. I do think it would be nice to do a demo. And of course, on my website, I need one too. I do agree that having a little piece of live clip. And so that's why it's a work in progress. So I
Mhm. Yes,
intend to try to
exactly.
get that together. But welcome, Miss Mel. We missed you last
Hi,
week.
Sam.
Hi
Hey.
there.
Hey. So we were
Somehow,
talking about,
either I hope it's not my system, but it sounds really garbled.
now you sound clear. Your picture's freezing up just a little bit, but you sound clear. All right.
Okay,
I
buttermilk pound cake coming out tonight. Okay.
Yeah. So you missed the very, very beginning.
Yes.
So of course, I'm sure you can figure out what that is.
Okay. Yes. Miss Diane.
You better believe it. Dropping a new video tonight, everybody. Buttermilk pound
Okay.
cake. So we'll look
It's
for it tonight. All right.
You
So here
making
she
me a
is.
little nervous now, that I kind of wish I could put my page up, but I'm not gonna worry about it. It's just like with that video when I was making it, I almost stopped because I was having a little issue with my blouse. And I'm like, you know what? The show must go on. I'm just gonna do impromptu and let it be what it's gonna be. Cause I'm
You
not
are
doing this
so right.
again.
You're right. Things will happen. And you just gotta keep, you just gotta keep it moving, laughing off
You
or
gotta
whatever.
keep right, right. I've seen enough movies, enough places, the show gotta go on.
Right. The show must go on.
Yeah.
So yes, yes, yes. So we kind of morphed into talking about creativity, Mel, because Diane was talking about how the cooking is really a creative outlet for her, and I feel like my creative juices are finally like coming back or getting unthawed in me because I felt like I felt like there were veins that were, you know, like frozen that I hadn't been able to tap into for a while. And I feel like finally I'm uh, kind of be able to tap into that. So I'll give you an example. What I was just telling Diane. I don't know if you know the song by DMX, "Blow the Whistle," doom, 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 blow the whistle. Anyway, he does this little rapping in at the, you know, the bridge part says "blow the whistle," and so I want to do a little stanza of that song where I talk about the stuff that's pissing me off in the world today, and then at the end say "blow the whistle," you know, and point at the referee as he blows the whistle. So that's kind of I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna make that happen. I'm gonna figure out how to do it. But anyway, um, your creative outlet, or you know, just creativity in general. Do you struggle with it? Is it easy for things to come to you? Um, Mel, oh, lost her again. Yeah. So,
I tell you, ever since I figured out, I decided to stop using the desktop and go to my tablet. This tablet, you know, StreamYard tell you to use either your laptop or desktop, but I had a problem with my desktop. But I'm telling you, this tablet I'm on, I don't have seem to have any problems with this tablet.
well, that's good. Yeah, I think it's definitely working out better.
Yeah,
Oh, excuse me. I agree. I agree. I think one time I'm gonna try to do it on my phone with the phone hooked up to the ring, like just to see if I like the phone view better. You know. Um,
I like that phone view. It just was since you know I have glasses, it just was too small. And but when I'm doing those videos, I'm telling you, I use the phone, and it's not a problem at all. But you know,
well, you know
you
what?
learn. I'm learning.
What just occurred to me? My husband has a tablet that he is not using. There's a Galaxy tablet in there. I need to get that tablet and put and use that tablet. What am I thinking of? I've been tripping.
I got
He's not
yeah.
using it.
I didn't even know you could it'll flow like this, but this is exactly what I'm using my Samsung Galaxy Tab A or something.
I think that's
Yep.
what I'm going to have to go ahead and get to right now because something's going on with my internet here. It's been fine all day, and then
Well, right now we can see you and hear you. Okay.
yeah, before it was very I you guys were frozen on my screen, and then
Mm.
and then it was broken, but
Mm-hmm.
now it's like just fine. But I like
Oh,
your Galaxy there, Diane. That looks good. It's a good.
I'm surprised. I didn't expect it to work as well as it does. I had to get out that desktop. You know, I know it works well on a laptop too, but it's just works better.
Mm-hmm. I'm on my
yeah.
phone right now because it was terrible.
Hmm. Because you know what? Now that I think about it, if I'm on that tablet, I could actually be mobile.
Yes.
Because I might decide there's a friend of mine when we were doing the music co-op, and her guy, he bought this piece of property that he turned it like into a um, event rental, but it's outdoors. So he has this fenced in space, and he has a concrete pad set up for it. You know, the band can play, and it usually has porta potties. But anyway, they do events there every Thursday evening. And it's just because I ran into her at the nail shop. I went to one and I ran into her at the nail shop and she was telling me about it. I'm like, I do my show at that time. And I said, you know what? One day I'm going to take the show on the road and go up there, you know, and just pan
Good
around
idea.
and, you know, have a little interaction just to see, you know, just something different. But I like
See,
their energy. I like what they're doing. They have plans. There's I don't know if you remember, Diane, the old Jupiter store that was in Wellston with that building. I think that's the building that he bought, and they are going to renovate it and have meeting spaces, you know, restaurants and that kind of thing in there.
and that cluster, is it that cluster? You know where all the businesses used to be, and they still got just the old boarded up buildings and stuff. I mean, I
Yeah,
remember. I know Wilton, and I'm just
yeah,
wondering. I know there's a strip on there where you still got buildings.
yeah, yeah. And I just heard on the news where they're planning on doing some kind of um, maybe not renovating it, but I guess keeping it intact. Where the old bus stop was, you know, the white building that was there. What was it called? The White House where they used to sell. It was where the buses all came through, but they had that little white
Oh,
building
I
that was there.
remember it kind of looked like a little train stop.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that building still stands, and so they're gonna
That's not the
preserve that building.
Delmore Loop. That's not what was that? I know what you're talking about. I know exactly what
Yeah,
you're talking about.
yeah. The wells to stop. So yeah, but they're gonna preserve that. So I thought that was cool to do. So
Okay.
It wasn't called the Wellston Loop. What was it called though? I remember that.
I don't know, but
Very
but it's the Wellston though,
okay.
or at the edge of it. So Mel, how's your week been going? We missed you last week. We were talking about
Yeah.
outdated life scripts, but without you there, it was the conversation was a little thinner than it would have been.
Outdated life scripts. Whew. I tell you what, this May, I'm thankful May is gone, but June came in hitting again. I had 4 people that we funeralized this past month,
Oh my
and 2
goodness!
of them were just the last week.
Nice.
And then my cousin passed away last night.
Oh,
So
sorry to hear that.
Yeah,
it's
sorry.
it's just been crazy. And 3 of them were, 3 of the 4 were all young men, friends of my son's. And one was from COVID, one was from sickle cell, and the other one was murdered. Just,
Mm-mm-mm.
and one that was murdered was my husband's 19-year-old cousin. So it's just like, okay, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. But my cousin, she hit her head, and this is something, be careful. She hit her head, didn't go get it checked. And on the second day, walking around, she screamed out for her brother. He went running up there, and she was gone.
Whoa.
Just like that. I mean, and she was younger than me, so she's in her early 50s.
Yikes! That's scary. That's scary.
It is, it's like people. I hit my head on the corner of my cabinet trying to clean before we painted, and I did go and get it checked. I had a CAT scan done and everything, so I don't play around with things like that because it was a very hard hit.
Yeah, yeah.
Fortunately, everything was good, but you just can't take that risk.
Yeah, you're right. I think especially when it comes to the head, because there's
Mm-hmm.
so much damage that you can do, and everything is, all there together. It's just that's just scary. It's just scary.
Because we forget. I'm glad you shared that, Mel, because we forget how fragile our bodies are for real. How fragile.
Yes.
And you know us black women, we think we super women, right? We hit our head, oh, no big deal. Shake it off.
Oh
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Shake
Shake
it
it
off,
off.
get up, and keep it moving.
Hold on, you're not
And
bleeding,
always,
so you're okay.
yeah, yeah. Because
Yep.
I hit my head. Believe it or not, I got a little spot. This spot was from when I was a kid, and somebody threw a snowball and it had a little piece of glass, and I've had that scar the whole time. I got a little
Mm.
extra little spur up on the top of it. Being at work on the job, going to hang something up on the rack, and the rack is right here. It's a lower rack, so I bend down to put something behind the next rack, and for some reason I don't know why I didn't register, hit my head on it. The little edge of the rod. Why?
Mm-hmm.
This takes skill, y'all. I'm telling you, this takes skill. Why did I bend down to hit my head again the second time? It's the same spot. I was like, oh my God. you know. I had to laugh at myself. I'm like, what the hell? I did the same thing right back again. So I just, I'm one of those people that would have to be careful because I will, have a tendency to fall or trip over something, or something like that. at one time with the thought of myself as the Black Dick Van Dyke, you know. Oh, before there ever was Chevy Chase, there was Dick Van Dyke.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, goodness, goodness. All we can do is, try to have a laugh through the day or through the week to keep, to maintain our sanity.
Trust me, I'm trying to laugh right now. This has been an eventful day. My son went to Africa again.
Wow.
Oh, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Not a good thing.
I kind of figured that by the look on your face. Not a good thing. Is it the
But
part of Africa he's going to?
I don't even know which part of Africa he's going to.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah, I told you the last 2 times he's been, it's not been good. But I've never been to Africa, so hey, he's been 3 times now.
Yeah. I never have either. My mother went once, her and her husband. But I would not necessarily want to go now. There's large swaths of Africa that I just, I pass for now. I'll get some stuff figured out, and then maybe I'd want to visit, but I don't believe in putting myself in unnecessary risk. And
Which is
so,
what we were telling him, because, hey, this is a pandemic time, and Africa is not known for having a lot of medical anything. So you're
mm-hmm.
not wealthy, and only the wealthy will be treated in Africa, especially if you're visiting from the United States. They expect you to come there with money.
Wow.
But this is one of those times where what was it? Our pastor was preaching, of course, right on the time that this total "I'm grown" kind of thing comes into play, and you have to let them be grown.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
step out of the way. But it was
Is
just
he going for a particular mission or to visit, or what's his reason?
he's into that back to Africa nonsense. And I have no problem with people going back to Africa, reestablishing roots, understanding where they came from and everything like that. But when you haven't done the proper research on the country that you're going to, which was the case in the last 2 times, and you haven't learned anything from those experiences, where we pretty much funded those trips, because you get there and you don't have enough money to sustain yourself, and thinking that you're going to get a job, but you're listening to people online who tell you, oh, it's no problem, come here, we'll take care of you, all of that. And he's calling and saying, I need some money, just send me this much money, I'll be fine. And then before the week's out, even his personal driver called saying he needs more money, Mom.
Mm-mm-mm.
It's like, oh, personal driver, okay. Because you can't get, there's not like public transportation where you get to go and get on the bus or whatever, because he's not going to the big cities per se. And even the big cities like Nigeria, I mean, heck, they come in, tribal wars are still going on. So I don't
So
know
I
what.
say again, I don't get it, but I wish him well. Whatever it is that he's seeking, I hope that he finds it and finds it soon.
It's that back to Africa, we need to listen to our ancestors, and stop listening to all this white man stuff and everything else, like, okay. Yeah. All right.
Well, we'll pray for him. We'll
Yeah,
pray for him.
I tell you what,
He's
please
come back
do.
before, so hopefully he'll come back again, and hopefully he'll come back and you're not as poor as the last time.
Well, you know what? My whole thing, I've been praying about it, and I said, okay, Lord, I trust you with him. And this time I really need you to work on his understanding, that he gets a true understanding of who he is and and to recognize who God is again, because he was fine with God up until the fact that he ran into these people online, and ever since then it's been a downhill spiral into the back to Africa, ancestral, tribal things. Like, okay. I said, Mister, most of them don't even believe that. But see, there's this one girl he's been talking to, I'm sure. She's looking for an American spouse. So
Blow the whistle. Blow the whistle.
hey, you know what? Go ahead and marry her. You guys are gonna be coming here poor if she happens to have enough money to get herself over here, because it won't be me.
How old is he, ma'am?
He is 35 years old. Well, he'll
Oh,
be
he needs to
35.
get a grip.
He'll
He
be
needs to get a grip.
35 in next month.
See, I
Yeah,
feel like, you know what? If you had said 22, I would have been good with that. You know what I'm saying? The vagaries of youth. But he's 35.
absolutely.
He had to pull it up in his car. What? Get a grip. Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's not a good thing. But you know what? God is good, and I'm just going to, I prayed the prayer of a mother of a prodigal son.
Yep.
You know.
Him go out on this mission, right? And like you said, the Lord will look after him. He's done it before. He'll continue to do it. You know, and
Yeah.
hopefully this time lessen the burden on you, not only financially, really, but the whole spiritual part of it. You know what I'm saying? Let him go, let him fly. It's his life ultimately. We worry about them, but it's their life. So you want to go, you want to try that, go right ahead. But, do not get mad at me when you come back around, circle back around like a boomerang with your stories, and I say, I told you so. Because I'm sure gonna say it. At 35, I'm gonna say it to you. I told your ass. But I wish him well. I really do. I hope he does find something.
I hope so. I really do. I hope he's safe, and but he's probably not there. He is not there yet because he left early this morning. So no telling.
Another 10, 12 years, maybe. We'll be doing it on the supersonic. Would you ladies ride the supersonic yet? They're bringing it. I think it's United, and so it'll make that trip from New York to London in like 3 or 4 hours.
Yes, I saw that.
And I was sitting there thinking, would I get on the supersonic jet for real? I think once it made a few flights, so I could see again, that it was safe. The redo, the remix. I think I definitely do it because I'm that person that let's save some time. So if we can save some time, and assuming that the price would not be unreasonable.
This is true.
I
mean, he saved up enough money this time again, so I'm like, okay.
It must
Man,
definitely
aren't
be.
You glad? Then aren't you glad? Thankful for the power of prayer.
You know because what? Without it, I would not be able to make it. I'd be just.
I'm telling you, because you all know, y'all done raised kids. Y'all know that it just don't stop once they go out. But you gotta let them go, and they gotta figure things out just like you had to. But it does not make it any easier because you still gonna be concerned about them every step of the way. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So we'll be in prayer with you, because it's they don't.
And you know what? I think it's a funny thing. I have to tell you this story real quick about my mother. So when my mother started dating the Reverend, they had dated for a while and stuff, and I was cool with that and everything. But they went out this one Saturday night. I'm at home. It's 12:30. She ain't back home yet. 1 o'clock roll around. She ain't home yet. Now I'm getting a little bit perturbed. You know what I'm saying? Because if you go stay out like that, you're supposed to tell a sister. You don't go staying out like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm expecting you at a certain time and you don't check in or nothing. Then you roll in. What's up with that? But I had to catch myself and laugh and realize the irony of the situation. So we had a good laugh about that. But that illustrated to me, once again, what parents go through. This was before I had the kids. So it was like I see what parents go through, you know. Um, if they out there, and you don't know what's up. And it's just like, if you just let me know. That's all I want. I don't want to know where you are, what you're doing. Just let me know you're all right. Then I could have been cool. But she ain't called me nothing. So I had to fuss at her when she got home. Mm-hmm. Sure did.
Ain't that something? That's something.
Sure did.
It's no joke. It's no joke. You just don't want to be worried about them, because you know
And
you
that's
are.
all. That is all. Once I figured that out with my mother, you know what I'm saying? As long as I did the check-in when she knew, then she was cool. So I made sure to do that. And then I never had any problems with her, where the other kids, sometimes they get it,
And that's
sometimes
why,
they
and that's why when I'm with travel, I was going back and forth. I would always let Nolan and Rashana know I'm here, I'm on the road, I'm back. And then
don't.
whenever they traveling, that's what I like about them is like if they were flying, they always shared their itinerary and say, hey, this is where we're gonna be and stuff. Because
Mhm.
you just don't want people, you just don't want them to be worried.
Right.
You don't.
Right. And then if something happens, you want to be able to kind of be able to pinpoint them a little bit. And so at least if you have
Exactly.
the itinerary, yeah, you can narrow down. So yeah, definitely, definitely. So
But it
Juneteenth
doesn't go away.
Juneteenth.
coming up.
Yes, it is.
Any plans for Juneteenth? Do you celebrate Juneteenth?
We do.
They
We,
celebrated here big time in Iowa, Corville. That's a big deal here.
Oh, okay, okay.
well,
We're good.
it's
As a
Texas
matter of fact,
because
yeah.
Texas is definitely celebrating because they were the ones who were told last.
Right, right. They were Juneteenth.
Yes,
They
this
were the
is.
people.
I never heard of Juneteenth till I got here to Texas. I really had not heard of it prior to that.
Wow.
And so, raised on the East Coast, and it was just got here and they're talking about Juneteenth. I'm like, okay, so what pray tell is Juneteenth? Oh, you don't know about that? And it's also my in-laws' anniversary. Last year we lost my father-in-law, so
Mm,
this would be their 67th anniversary,
wow.
and it's like, okay, so we're gonna celebrate with my mother-in-law and have like a picnic out in her backyard because she's still not having people in her house per se, even though most of us are vaccinated.
Well, that's good. That's
Mm-hmm.
good. Because that's Father's Day weekend. Um,
Oh
that whole
yes.
Juneteenth weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my nephew, his stepsons, he has triplets, and they're graduating high school that weekend
What?
in
Wow.
Chicago.
Whoa.
So I'm debating driving up for the celebration. Um, then my mother's birthday was on the 16th. So that whole little pocket, has always been even Flag Day being the 14th. I'm one of those people that remember little oddball stuff like that because celebrate Flag Day. Uh, but we actually did the co-op that I was with. We actually did a Juneteenth celebration. Let's see, it was 2019. Yeah, so we did over in Illinois. They got invited to do a Juneteenth celebration. So yeah, usually I try to do something, to commemorate.
So Diane, what are you guys doing in your town, and why is it special for your town?
I don't know. I mean, with I didn't know about Juneteenth until I was in Iowa. I don't remember it, back home. And the reason that I was remember Juneteenth here is because a couple of them, our church participated and we had to sing. But because of the church community, and so, and you know, it's just about 1% Black community, but it's steady growing. So they do those things, you know, so they have to keep us out there like that. I mean, we got people here that are really involved in terms of community activities and uh, being on school boards and things like that. And they just always have a do a Juneteenth celebration in the
Mm-hmm.
park. You know, they have different little things that, you know, to celebrate our history, our freedom, our culture. You know, that's part of the culture.
And you're right, because here the churches have gotten a lot more involved too in terms of doing stuff,
Right,
with their
right.
congregations for that. So um
Yeah, well, I wouldn't have known anything because we were raised military, so we were on the base, so we went to the chapel. And, only time I got to see a Baptist church or a Methodist church or anything is when we came to visit family, and went to New York or went to, because we were mainly on the East Coast in Jersey, but we moved every year, but we'd always come back to Jersey. And so, Baltimore, Philly, or whatever else, we would visit. And if it'd have to be on the Sunday, we would go to their church and we'd be kind of going, what are these people
what's
doing?
that?
I've
Right.
never seen this many Black people in the first place, literally. I mean, because literally we never really were around our people until we went to Savannah, Georgia, as far as actually
Mhm.
living somewhere where there was a majority of Black people. So, I
Mm-hmm,
mean, it was
mm-hmm.
just like, okay, wow, is this what we've been missing? I mean, but my mom, kept us historically, you know, she kept it relevant, and she kept us up to speed on what was going on and, what, what racism was about and everything else, especially because I'll never forget when Martin Luther King died, and everybody on the block, all the women, because it was a waiting wives post, and most of the husbands were in Vietnam. And everybody came running out of their house, just screaming and crying and just down on their knees, just crying, screaming, hugging each other. And it was just like, what in the world? And it, it was like, Martin, Martin, Martin. I mean, because they weren't even getting a word out. They were just screaming, oh, Lord, oh, Lord,
Yeah.
and all that. It was like, oh
I
my
can remember
goodness.
walking home crying. We got the news at school. It was right before school was to let out. And since I stayed down in the projects then, so I walked home from school with all the rest of the kids. But they had given us the news, and so that's what was happening. People were crying. The grown folks was crying. The kids were crying. I distinctly remember that. Because I was one of those weird kids to watch the news and stuff, and so I knew what was
No,
up.
I think, you know what? I think our
Yeah.
generation, because our parents watched the news,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That's
we
exactly
watched
it.
the news. I
Right.
That's
mean,
exactly it.
wait a minute, hold up. I remember Walter Cronkite and all of them.
Yes,
Hello,
that was our guy.
that's our
That was
go-to guy.
And we had those three channels: ABC, NBC, and
and
what's
CBS.
KMOS,
And CBS,
CBS.
CBS.
Mm-hmm.
So we
Walter
that's what we
Cronkite was on
did.
CBS.
that was
You
it.
didn't miss the
And
news. You didn't
we
miss the
had one
news.
other channel, and that was a UHF channel, but that's where Ultraman and all those cartoons and
Right.
Japanese
Yes, yes,
Right.
cartoons came out.
yes.
We had
But
each
that
channel
was it.
11 and channel 30, so we had a couple of
Yeah,
extra
11 and
channels here in
30.
St. Louis.
That's right.
Where we could watch wrestling at 11 o'clock on a Friday night.
Or the
And
Kansas City Bombers,
yeah,
Yeah,
the
yep.
skating.
skating,
Because
yes,
After,
we were
yes.
stationed in Kansas,
yes.
so we watched
Hmm.
skating. It was like, oh yeah, roller
And
derby.
Midnight Special, I
Roller.
remember
Oh,
staying
the
up so I
Midnight
could
Yeah,
watch
Special with
Midnight
the
Special.
Wolfman Jack.
Yes,
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 yeah.
yes. Oh
yes,
my
yes,
goodness.
yes.
The memories,
Yes. I mean, complex times, but simple times too.
Yeah, yeah,
Things
things
were a
were
little bit
simpler,
simpler.
Right.
you
It's
know.
complex and it was racist and everything else, but I mean, you just simply had to just, keep it moving. Well, for us in military, it was kind of one of those things of depending on what your father's rank was, or basically if like my dad was Green Beret, So it didn't matter what his rank was, because if I say my dad's a Green Beret, people get out of your way.
He gets the respect. That's right.
It was a respect.
That's respect. You
thing.
respected the Green Berets. That's why the Green Beret even became a fashion fad for a while.
Oh yes, it
wearing
was.
the Green Beret.
And when the Panthers put on their black berets,
exactly.
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
Well, it is 7:40. We can either end this, or I can mention a topic that I hate to mention it, but I'm feeling a little bit fired up about everything that's going on in all of these states, and how in the hell are we going to stop these people? Because it has gotten critical now with these with the voter suppression that they're trying to do.
It's beyond ridiculous. But what one thing that came up today, to your particular point on that, they talked about on the news. There was a gentleman, he said, with all the things that we're talking about, how are we going to stop them? He said, but people need to understand, if you want to see red and you're looking at this, the federal level, and no, not all the states are red, but these laws that they're passing are going to impact everyone, not just the state that they're in. And he said, look at the map. And they're supposed to be doing a special on Ari Melbourne's show. He's going to show all the counties that are red. He said the map across the country is red. He said, and if you got county boards and county administrators handling these votes, we got more trouble than we can even imagine, and even in the blue states.
Yeah, we have definitely got to, for lack of a better phrase, I guess, wake up. I think a rank and file Democrat sometimes, once the job is done, right, we went and cast our vote, and then we kind of cruise along and let them handle, everything else. But we've got to step up and get involved. And I'm just trying to figure out, how to do that, how to get plugged in, how to get the word out, because I do not want to live in an autocracy. I refuse to do that. I will go and shoot Joe Manchin myself before I just.
And I'll take care of cinema. Cinema. That girl right there is just called. Let's go sit down somewhere. Go sit down somewhere, because I'm trying to protect you from the people who are going to hurt you. By you're sitting up here, Kristen Cinema from Arizona.
And you're trying to hold on to this stupid practice that's not even a law.
The filibuster. The filibuster. She's going to say, yes, I think it's absolutely necessary. No, you're absolutely trying to keep your job. And that's the thing that you have to start looking at. But you got to get the younger people understand how this rolls up, and how if you have a Democratic board, election board, then you have a better chance of those rules not being rigidly enforced. But if your county levels are all red, you don't stand a chance.
We're in trouble.
We are, we're going to have to start looking at it from a lot of different ways. One, try to fight it as much as possible. But at the end of the day, you better have plan B. Whereas, okay, so you can't go to vote until 1:00. Well, church, on that Sunday, we're going to have church at 10:00.
Exactly.
Or, if your church goes for 3 hours, and 1:00, we're going to be at the polls, right? Or church, we're going to have church at 9:00, and then we're going to have our little lunch here. We're going to have a family dinner, and then we're going to go to the polls.
Yeah, so, and I completely agree. We got to have a game plan.
Some other ways of doing these things. You can't just say, "Oh well, they're not letting us." No, you know what? I don't care what you sit up here talking about. They're not letting us. Like they're the ones who give us, and that's
exactly
the correction.
They are giving us anything.
Giving me anything. Don't tell me you gave me this and you gave me that. You didn't give me anything. I'm entitled to that. just like
Right.
you
I'm
are.
exercising my right.
That's right. Give me something. I've got your give me. And I didn't ask you for anything. I'm telling you, I'm going to
Thank
go
you.
and
I
vote.
didn't ask you either. That's the other thing. I ask you for permission.
No, and you know what? That was my mother-in-law. We had a conversation about, and my sister-in-law. I said, I would have been one of those Black people that would have been lynched. I would have been lynched. I would not have
I
made
think
it.
the Lord knew
He
that
knew
I
what
couldn't
time to
live in
bring
those
me in.
days. Exactly, exactly. Because I watched. My husband has got me watching this little show, Mountain Men. Y'all ever
Mm-hmm.
seen this? Mountain Men.
Mm-mm. What is
Okay.
it on?
Well, it's a show. I think they follow like 4 or 5, and they white men, of course, but they live in the mountains and they make their living off the land. So one's way up in Alaska, one's in Montana, one's down in the Ozarks, one's in Colorado. But anyway, the different things that they do. And I look at it and I think to myself, they're living off the land, but watching how rough it is and how ridiculous it is to me to be doing that in this day and age. And I'm just like, the Lord knew I would not be able to survive like that. I'm glad I'm watching it because I'm learning little things for them if something ever happens. But slave times, I couldn't have. I wouldn't have survived. I'd have been dead. I just already know. It just
They would have said that little winch right there, beat her and hang her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Just,
A little smart mouth, yeah, slap in the mouth. you know.
But you know what? It's scary. I don't keep up. It's hard for me to watch what's going on with the voting thing. It just kind of throws me off. But my thing is, what our ancestors, as those have come before us, what they have done, they have empowered us. Because my thought is, you got to be prepared to fight. It's no turning back. So we are more empowered than we ever have been. And I'm not talking about uh uh I'm talking about mentally and
yes.
everything in every
Mm-hmm.
single area of it. And I really believe that that we'll come up with a way to
Yeah,
work
yeah.
around this thing. Because
Because
we
That's
didn't
the
come
thing.
too far.
We better start
We've
putting
come
those
too
plans
far
in
not
place
to.
right now.
Yeah.
But we
Mm-mm.
got to put them in place right now. Don't wait till the last
Mhm.
minute, because you
No.
barely dragging people out to vote for the president, and now we have these state and state senate seats and all these other things going on in
Yeah.
2022, and then we
Yeah.
have some powerful elections going on right now this weekend here in Dallas.
Mm.
Mayor's races and everything to be decided. There's a Black woman running. Do you think I have not seen one post, and it's not my area, but I haven't seen one post for these people to get off their Black behinds and go out and vote, because they can put that sister in there as a mayor in Fort Worth. It's a runoff.
Mm-mm-mm.
Do you understand
So
that
what?
most of them won't even know that there is even an election going on?
See, that's what's sad. That is what's sad. We need a Stacey Abrams in every state.
And my take is this: it's called Stacy. Here's the deal, baby. You have to duplicate yourself because you can't be everywhere.
Right.
So this has got
Tell
to
us how to do it. Give us the
let's
roadmap.
let's
You
do
know.
that traveling. You're doing all this traveling around and you're going to different states and everything. You should be having training set up so that we can, learn from you the things that we need to know, especially from a legal standpoint. I mean, she should have
Mm-hmm.
surrogates out there training and saying we're going to have a training for voting, right now,
You know what?
because
And I'm going to look that up because she may be doing a version of that, and I just don't know it. I haven't heard
and
of it,
I need to
but I
find out
hope that
too
she
here.
is. I hope that she
I
is.
think that's what you were asking about, what we should do. I think that's something that I need to do too, is look it
Mm-hmm.
up,
Mm-hmm.
find out where she is, and if she isn't here, send her a note.
Yeah,
Say, hey,
yeah. Because
Stacy,
this is something
here's
that's
the deal.
concerning me, and
We've
I
got
feel
something
like I
that's
need to do something.
yeah, we need to do something here, and we have to have
Mm-hmm.
Plan B. I know you guys are fighting this legally and everything, and we're trying to support you and everything, but
In the
most people
meantime, we still got to be ready.
we've got
Yep.
to be ready. I
Yep.
mean, look at Black Wall Street. That should be That should be our driver. Those black people got together and said, skip you, Mr. White Man, white woman. I'll open my own bank. I'll open my own beauty shops. I'll open all of what I need for myself. Of course, now the white people got jealous because they went ahead and did it successfully. Bankers, lawyers, doctors, you name it, hotels even. Oh, they were hot. They couldn't believe that, how these black people come together and do all of this, without us. Yeah, without you. Okay.
You wanted us in our own neighborhood? Okay. Yes. We in our neighborhood.
But that's now what we have to start doing too, is our own neighborhoods, cleaning them up. Yeah. And these fools that are coming in and killing and telling young kids to kill and everything else, that's a no. It's got to be unacceptable. We've got to not go, oh, well, there goes so-and-so. No, so-and-so, you're going to get your so-and-so out of here. And there's got to be some men that step up and say, hey, wait, we're not having this. And why do you want to do this to your own people?
Remember Kool Moe Dee's record, Wild Wild West? Wild Wild West. And that's exactly what it talked about. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with, in the neighborhood with your fist and stuff rather than, resorting to guns.
I mean, there's a 19-year-old young man that we just buried last Saturday. 19. Why?
Yeah. The potential that we lose every day.
I mean, and this is one that was working double time on his job so he could build his own little music studio. But somebody got jealous.
Always. All we can do is pray, ladies. Well, we can do other things, but we definitely have to keep on praying.
You know what, baby? It's kind of like that old saying. God wants us to have faith and he wants us to pray. But darn it, you standing up there praying on the shovel and saying, God, we need a hole.
Well, true, very true. Right.
That's why he's looking at you like, okay, yeah, right. See if that hole gets dug. You got a shovel. There's nothing wrong with your back. You better start digging. So we have to do some work.
Yes, I agree. It's because I think people really kind of don't get that sometimes. They think if they pray to God, he's going to just magically make it happen. And no, you got to do your part.
And you know something, Mel, you talking about the shovel and the shovel. It just reminded me of an experience I had last week, but it reminded me of how we have the importance of tools and how we have tools at our fingertips that we don't even use, that we don't even use.
That's true.
That's right, true. At our fingertips. We don't even use.
My take is this. You got a mayor's race over in a big city like Fort Worth, and you have a people of color dominate that city. Why is it that you got a black woman running and it's a runoff? Why? She should have won that hands down against this girl that she's running against. But do you see T-shirts out there? Do you see people saying, hey, wait a minute, have you voted? Are you voting? June 7th is the date. No. And Jersey's got even bigger consequences going on. If they don't win those races there, we could end up with the majority of Republicans early, before 2022. And that's going to be this December, I think it is. So it's kind of like
Senate Bill 4's got to pass. The only way to stop this, Senate Bill 4's got to pass. I think even before Senate Bill 1 and Senate Bill 4, because that's the one with the voting stuff in it. Well, ladies, what can I say?
What's our thought for today and our thing for next week?
Yes. You know what? The only thought I have right now is the only thing I think right now is vote. Get out and vote.
Yes.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. Vote. Think about it. Get out and vote.
And if
Absolutely.
you haven't yet and you don't have a medical reason not to, go get vaccinated. Let us get to
Exactly.
the herd number of the 70%. Come on, y'all. It is take a little more. We almost there.
Don't
That
take your
is.
voting right for granted. We have a lot of men behind bars for that very reason. They
Exactly.
don't want. They putting out me, but they're behind bars and they're losing their rights to vote. We can't take the voting rights for granted. These young people
We
got to
really
know
cannot.
that. We
We
really
really
cannot.
cannot.
And you're right, Mel. You gotta have a plan B. And you're right, Kathy. There's always more than one way to skin a cat. It's
That's right.
always going to be. We
Absolutely.
gonna
That's right. Cause see me,
we,
I like to have a plan C even just in case plan B don't work. I want to have a little sad niggle in the back plan C. Cause they ain't getting me like that. Sorry. We can't let them get us like this. No.
Yes.
I
It's
just
called there's
refuse
no
to
you
let that
can't
excuse.
happen.
if you
Don't
can't if
say,
you can't
well,
if you that's right. If you can't vote this way, then you better have your next plan enroll if how to vote this way.
Hmm.
You know
right.
what I'm saying?
And
And every
you need
day,
to go check to see if you're registered because they've been
right?
removing people off the rolls here lately.
Oh,
They've been
Lord,
sending messages
Lord.
talking about if you don't do this, you're not going to be on the rolls for voting. They're stripping people of their voting rights and saying, "Well, we have to get you to re-verify." They literally are doing that here in Texas. And
And you know what?
people don't even know that they've
And
received it.
that's right. And here's my thing. If that's what you got to do to keep that vote, go through the re-verification, go through it. Because they
Right.
send me something like that, I'm gonna be on it. I mean,
Right.
don't let this here stuff stop you. That's all I'm saying.
Right. You can be pissed about it
They
and
keep
it's
throwing
okay to
it out
feel that way, but still
there.
get the job done. So whatever you got to
Uh-huh.
do, do it so you can vote. But if it's
And don't
different
wait
for
till
Recognize
you,
the
that
stumbling
last
block.
day.
yeah.
Don't
Mm,
wait to the
mm,
last day because that is
mm,
not the day to sit up there and say, "Well,
mm.
I thought," and I just assumed. Well, your assumed vote is not going to count, baby. I'm going to tell you. I don't care if they say it's provisional, it's not
No,
going to count.
no,
Right.
no.
But if there's
Because
anybody
if
out
you
there
don't,
that, is looking for a target, Greg Abbott, I'm just saying.
Greg Abbott.
I'm just
Just
saying,
saying.
if it keep going like it's going, you're gonna end up fighting for your vote one way or the other. So you just will get
Right.
on out there right now and nip
Mm-hmm.
this stuff in the bud. And every
Fight
little
the people
stumbling block
now.
every little stumbling block, hey, get over it. Find a way to
Did
get
you?
over that stumbling block.
One more thing I want to just tell you guys. Did you guys see that Arizona's bringing back the gas chamber?
Oh no, I didn't see
No.
that.
The Nazi style gas chamber.
Why?
Because this is just the beginning of these people. These people are neo Nazis. That I'm not going to call them nationalists or all the others. They're neo Nazis, plain and simple. And the Lucky Lindberghs and all of those back in the day tried this mess back then. It failed, but they almost got it through because they were supporting Hitler.
Wow.
Okay, they believed in the white superiority, and they were absolutely not ashamed to say it.
Arizona got a hot mess going on.
But
They have a hot
Arizona is bringing back the gas chamber. They refurbished the gas chamber. Why wasn't that totally dismantled and destroyed? But cruel and unusual punishment. You got the Supreme Court sitting up there telling a police officer that he was okay by going in and looking at somebody's license tag. They just voted 6-3. We need to wake up and understand if we don't change these laws. And like you said, 4, if they get that one passed, we're gonna have a little bit of cushion. But I'm telling you, there needs to be laws. This officer went into somebody's file for a friend. He got paid to look up somebody's license tag, and he was fired. And it went all the way up to the Supreme Court because he said it doesn't specifically say that I couldn't do it, even though it, messed over the policies of my, that's a privacy issue.
Right. That's a
There's a lot of
privacy issue.
cybersecurity and privacy issues that have to be addressed as well. Because I'm telling you right now, they're doing some serious dirt behind the scenes. And all of these ransomware attacks, girl, please do not start to think that it's just the Russians.
Oh,
Because these people are tied in with them so tight, it doesn't even make sense.
We'll continue this conversation next week, because you're right. The whole hacking thing that we haven't even gotten to, the stuff happening here in St. Louis, for instance. So, but since we at the 8:00 hour, we'll keep us to an hour.
Okay.
And so we will say goodbye to everybody. We'll see you next week. Same bad time, same bad channel.
Take care of me,
ladies.
Looking for the pound cake.
And look out for the buttermilk pound cake tonight video. Diane, yeah.
I have to learn how to make one. I have not made one.
Well,
and I bake.
Me either.
I'm posting it on my Facebook page, Mel, but I am going to create a page specific for that. But tonight it'll be on my Facebook page, on my Facebook, on my timeline.
All righty then.
9:00.
Looking forward to it.
Wonderful, wonderful. Ladies, have a great week.
All right, you too.
Take care,
See you next week.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.